Welcome to another edition of the Giants Huddle podcast brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. I am John Schmeelk here in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. A lot of good player interviews as practice gets underway on Tuesday. Recording this on Tuesday morning. We'll have interviews throughout the week, so make sure you stay tuned to the podcast via Giants YouTube channel as we get some of those interviews to you. So let's get things started as we need to start our conversation with some of our excellent prospects here at the Senior Bowl. And now we welcome in one of the small school guys here. There aren't many small school guys in these games anymore. It's good to see Ted Hurst from Georgia State. Ted, what's going on, man? How are you?
Yes, sir, man. Nice to meet you, man. I'm doing great. It's been a smooth process making it up here. So now I'm just ready to work.
That's awesome, man. So what are your goals? Every time, guys go to this game, you kind of meet with your team, your agent, your trainers, and you're like, all right, these are the things that I want to try to show NFL teams when I go to the Senior Bowl. What's on your checklist for this week?
Yeah, man, just being myself, making plays, being up to date, being able to move fast on the playbook, coming in, you could probably have 2 to 3 days to learn the playbook, just showing the coaches that I'm ready and who they think I am on tape.
That is one of my stock questions, and I was going to ask you, what has that process been like for you trying to absorb an NFL playbook in the span of 48 hours?
The process we was in college, we ran a pro-style type of offense, so the terminology is quite the same, some of the formations are also the same. And I think I want to give a shout out to my coaches because, they put us in that system and they told me, like, this is what you're going to be looking forward to when you get to this level, so it's kind of very similar. So it hasn't been too much of a struggle.
For someone that hasn't watched you play wide receiver, how would you describe your game? Where do you best at? What are your greatest strengths?
Yeah, man, I'll say I'm a true deep threat. If you're looking for those big plays down the field and those 50-50 contested balls, that's what you're going to see from me.
And what are some of the things that you're still trying to fine-tune and improve on in your game?
Yeah, man, I feel like the underneath, the yak after the yards after catch, like I've been working on that, emphasizing that on my game, and it's coming.
What are some of the things that you're looking forward to the most in the one-on-ones, going up against some of these guys from the SEC, these like Power 4 conferences that maybe you didn't see during the season?
Yeah, man, I'm a competitor. I like competing. Going against these people, they're some of the best in the world too. So just getting an opportunity to go against them and show them what type of player I am, and just because I'm G5, I'm still able to compete.
Absolutely. I guess one of the challenges for a receiver, right, in order for you to make plays and look good, you have to build chemistry with your quarterbacks very quickly, and you got a lot of different ones on the roster, right? So as a receiver, how do you try to get that down quickly so you hit the ground running on day one of practice?
I'm just going to talk to the guys, holler at them, try to get some extra reps after practice if we can, before practice if we have the opportunity. Tell them how I like the route, tell them what I'm going to be open for them, let them know like I'm going to be fast, I'm going to be on sharp and on point.
What's your go-to release move for when you got a guy pressing you up on man? You're going to have that on one-on-ones today, right? Guys are going to try to get up on you, a bigger guy, they're going to try to jam you at the line a little bit. What's your go-to move to try to get off a press?
I'll say a split release, I feel like I got a strong point in my game is my speed, so if I'm able to get on the edge of you, and if we're even, I'm leaving, that's the saying.
What route, when you hear it in the huddle, gets you most excited to run as a wide receiver?
I say probably the big boy post. The big boy post, I'm already thinking, if it's quarter coverage, that's a touchdown, man.
Well, as long as the offensive line protects long enough for you to get back there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, definitely.
Obviously, you guys did not win a ton of games this year. How was it tough to kind of keep your focus and keep locked in on your game and your craft, even though maybe the team wasn't having the success you might have wanted?
Yeah, so personally for me, it was I knew what type of season this was going to be for me. I knew where I wanted to be and how I wanted to go about carrying myself. I was just trying to be a leader, whether it was leading vocally or leading by example. I felt like the younger guys looked up to me on my team, and I feel like if I was slacking, they were going to be slacking. So it's like, it's not only about you, you got to be a team player, and, you got to come out there and work every day, regardless of the situation. You just look at the losses and you turn those into lessons.
So that's a great line. I like that. So you talk about leading by example. Are you a vocal leader too, or are you more of a guy that likes to just show and lead that way?
Yeah, I'll say more side in my receiver group room, I was very vocal. Probably not team wise, it may be here and there, but definitely by vocal in my room and leading by example.
Have you had many meetings with NFL teams yet on the side with coaches and scouts and stuff like that, or no?
Yesterday we went through a long interview process, so I was able to, chop it up with a lot of coaches. But I have spoke to coaches after practice and
Sure.
within those things.
What were some of the in your and I'll call it a gauntlet because I know that's what it is, right? You kind of get hurt when you go from table to table, right? That's how it works. What were some of the questions that were common from team to team that you feel like teams are trying to learn about you as a guy and you as a player?
Yeah, just learning about my early life, what's adversity I had to face, coming from Division II, coming to G5, what was that transition like, and how do I learn, things like that.
What was that transition like for you going from Division II to G5?
Yeah, I'll say it kind of really wasn't a struggle, I feel like the true difference is the O-line and D-line,
It's the size of the guys.
Yeah, the size of the guys definitely, but the Division II I was at, man, shout out to my coach, Jermaine Jackson. He's a great guy. He really was strict, he was all about being a man, He had these three things we call a dog, discipline, obedience, and grit, and he drilled that into the program, so making that transition of being a pro to another school, it was just like I was always on point, always on time, showing up, and it's like now you just gotta adjust to where you're at now.
Now, what are you being told about what the jump's going to be like going from Georgia State to the NFL?
It's gonna be a fast process, obviously. You're gonna have to pick it up fast, and you're getting evaluated, So just be ready for your moment.
When you're done here, you go back, you hook up with your trainers and everything. You get ready for the combine, you get ready for your pro day and all that stuff. What are some of the things you're still trying to fine tune about your game?
Yeah, trying to get to that top speed. Trying to make that 4 top speed, that's going to look great for me. Just clean up the small things, whether it's details or, learning football. I'll say eating right.
Sure.
Dude,
I can't wait to see what you do this week, man.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck. I appreciate
you, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Yes, sir. And now we're joined by South Alabama wide receiver, Devin Voisin. Devin, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Blessed to be here. Each day's been, a bit really busy, but, I'd rather be here than anywhere else.
No doubt about it. Since you're here, and I just talked to a fellow, I'll call you guys small school guys.
Yes, sir.
I had Ted Hurst from Georgia State here. And I love, not had many small school guys come over here. Because everybody eventually, all right, I want to go to the Power 4 school.
Right.
So do you like having that kind of small school chip on your shoulder showing up to an event like this?
Oh, 100%. Because, while everybody's eyes are on, like, the big name guys, we'll stand out whenever we make, great plays or do something like really, really well. And so that's kind of like, something that separates us from the rest already from the jump. And so, and plus being at home here in Mobile, it's not like I had a far drive to get here. And then be in front of a lot of my, fans, coaches, and, other players that, that still play at South. So it's definitely something that, I love being a part of and being able to prove myself.
What is it when you get on the field and you go up against some of these guys from the SEC, from, the Big Ten, that you want to prove to scouts and coaches that you can do when you're competing against the best?
Yeah. So, I mean, even when you're playing, in a group of 5 school, you play against, a big team.
Yeah, sure.
Like either once or twice a year. And so
first 3 weeks usually, right?
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so, I've played against, top talent, in the SEC, ACC, whatever it is. But being here to be able to play against the top talent in the country,
especially one-on-ones, right?
Exactly. And top talent in the country, that's just going to be a proving point for myself.
Anything particular about your game that you want to show that you got that maybe you think teams are sleeping on a little bit?
I definitely say route running and, my IQ to just read a defense, and especially in zones, to be able to get open in zones and, read how, tendencies of, defenders and DBs and, just get myself open, more than anybody else.
Is that tougher to do, reading tendencies, which then also you have to have chemistry at the quarterback, right? Because if they're not seeing the same thing you are, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
And it's such a short period of time to get ready and build that. So how do you try to put that all together in such a short period of time?
Yeah, so playing, the guys that are here, I mean, they're top-notch quarterbacks, top of the league in every aspect. And so their mind's going to work exactly how, it should. And hopefully, just based off, the route running that we have on routes on the air, one-on-ones, you just kind of feel that chemistry, and they're going to be able to put the ball in the spot, on the money every time.
So as you've now been talking to some NFL coaches and stuff like that, what are some of the common questions that you've gotten in the gauntlet you've run with the teams doing these interviews that they're trying to learn about you as a player and as a person?
Just pretty much what you can bring to their team, how valuable you are. And that's, what I'm hitting the point that I'm hitting every time is that, I'll bring energy to a room. I'm a veteran, I've played football for a while in college. And so, you're not getting somebody that's, 19, 20 coming in still young. You're getting somebody that's, professional, been older, and somebody that can, knows what it takes to be at the bottom, but still lead from the bottom.
I already asked you what you're trying to prove to these coaches. What do you think that they do know about your game? What do you think that you're best at that really, when somebody sits down and watches your tape, will jump out at them first thing for fans that maybe haven't seen you play?
My ability to beat somebody one-on-one, is the way, I'll run routes. They definitely know that I can attack the ball. I have really, really good ball skills, and just bragging on myself.
No, that's fine. I asked the question, you're bragging.
But yeah, definitely just my route running, and then my the way I attack the ball. It's something that I've really practiced, over the years, something I take very seriously. And that's exactly what they're going to see in one-on-one, 7-on-7, and team periods.
How about you as a guy? What do you want to get across the teams that you meet them about what you bring to a locker room?
That I love playing football, and I love everything about it. I love being, part of locker rooms. I love, doesn't matter, I don't know any of these guys from anyone. I know a few guys, but we're all going to be part of the same team. So it's not really like I am competing against them, but I'm also like competing with them, and I want them to have success, and I want my whole team, to do good things. And so they're going to see that I'm not, waiting for somebody to mess up on one-on-ones. Somebody does something really good, I'm going to go dap them up. I'm going to have a lot of energy, and that's exactly what I'm going to bring.
Devin, good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
A pleasure getting to meet you, and good luck,
sir.
Thank you. All right, and now we're joined by running back from Penn State, the Nittany Lions, Nick Singleton. Nick, what's going on, man?
What's good? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. So you guys kind of have like the two-headed backfield this year, right? We'll still like working with your partner in crime, trying to build that running back, that running game for Penn State together.
Yeah, it meant a lot. Me and K-Tom, we feel like we're the best duo in the nation. We got each other's back. He's my roommate, so that dynamic's just been really good, man, throughout the whole year. So it's been amazing.
I love the fact that you guys are roommates, because a lot of times competition, sometimes if I want to play. Yeah. You guys never had that issue, huh?
No, we never had that issue. If he's in the game, I'm just showing love for him. I'm in the game showing love. So it's that good dynamic for each other.
No question about it. What do you want to show coaches here? Obviously, you got speed, first and foremost, when I watch you. But what are some of the things that maybe you want to prove to NFL scouts that maybe they don't know about your game or might have some doubts about?
Yeah, just showing obviously can run still, stuff to prove, catching out the backfield, being a complete back, and obviously just pass blocking too. Just being, like I said, a complete back.
Do you see maybe being a third down back as a potential role for you when you get to the National Football League?
Yes, sir. I always want to be a 3-down back, be the person that stay on the field and all that. So, just get the dirty work done. That's all I want to show.
And to get on the field on third down, the dirty work that you have to do is pass protect. Shit, exactly right. You got it. So what have you done? Let's start in college. What have you done over your course of your career there to try to improve the pass protection so you're ready to go to protect your quarterback?
Yeah, so we always do any drill, we run, we catch out the backfield, but most importantly, most of the time, we're doing blocking drills and all that, just being that complete back, keeping our hands inside and all that, just doing the technique and all that. So I feel ready. I feel good.
What's the most important thing to be a good pass protector for you? Is it the mental part of it, or is it the physical part of it?
I feel like it's both. Once you get that first hit, out the way, being pass pro, you just feel good about it. That builds your confidence. So once you do that, you just feel ready.
All right, now let's talk about the fun stuff, running the football. What do you like to run? Do you like to run gap scheme? Do you like to run outside zone, inside zone? If I let you pick your scheme, what would it be?
It could be any scheme, man. I feel like I can run any scheme, inside zone, mid zone, outside zone, gap scheme, man. I love it all, man. So they can give it to me up.
All right, you love it all. What do you think you're best at, though?
Best at? I really say mid zone and outside zone. I love them all, Once I got out the outside, I feel like no one can catch me. The mid zone, being patient back, I can hit it either way, the A gap, B gap. It don't really matter, so I feel like I'm good.
What's the key to being a good zone scheme runner? I've always heard people slow to the hole, but then quick through the hole.
Yeah, for sure. Slow.
Is that how you think about it?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously you want to be patient, let your blocks develop, then once you get to the second level, it's just, make sure that back you're making a miss. Then the third level, I was making that safety miss. Then once you do that, it's screen grass and you go on.
All right, I got to ask you about your teammate, K-Tron. Make the pitch to NFL teams why he should be a guy that they should make part of the team as well as yourself.
Yeah, for sure. K-Tron, he's a physical runner. Everybody can see that. His vision is obviously elite, man. Spacing out the backfield is, again, elite. So he's just really good, a fast runner too, really patient out the backfield. So he's amazing. And
you got a good offensive line in front of you. Your guy Vega could be a first-round pick this year. What is it like running behind him?
No, I mean, it's a lot of running back him. He's really good. He can get, once he's in your way, man, he's gonna run your ass over. So he's just really good, man. So we love Vega, man. He's a big energy guy on our team, so we love him.
Who's the toughest linebacker you had to go against in your college career?
Toughest linebacker? a guy from, I think, Old State, Reese.
Reese?
Yeah, Reese, you know, he's a really good player, really smart player, long player too. So he's really smart. He knows where everything's happening. So, you know, he's a good bagger.
Nick, man, I appreciate it. I know you got means to get to. I appreciate you stopping by quick. Best of luck this week, and good luck during the draft process, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, man. All right, and now we welcome in Duke cornerback Chandler Rivers. Chandler, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
So what I like most when I watch you before I get out here, you're a corner that likes to be physical and likes to tackle.
Yeah.
I have a seeing you smile, and I like that. Why is that such an important part for you for the way you play that position? Because a lot of times some corners, they see the running back coming, they're not really into the whole tackling thing.
I mean, I feel like it's part of the game. Like you can't love the game in pieces. You gotta love the whole game. And I feel like just me, man, my size and stature, I gotta do other stuff well that people don't do well. So,
Do you feel more comfortable playing inside or outside? What do you like doing more?
I like playing both. I feel comfortable playing both, but inside is probably the most fun.
Why?
You get the blitz, you get the cover. Hey, get a disguise coverage is way better. So I mean, you just get a mixture of everything. So
You also have pulling guards coming at you, and you got to set the edge sometimes too, right?
it's part of the game. You get that to that corner. So it's like it's not really that big of a difference. You just got more space to work with.
All right, so let's talk about the coverage part of your games. You like pressing, you like playing off and watching the quarterback. What do you prefer to do, and what do you think you're best at?
I said past few years I like pressing because I mean in Manny Diaz defense that's pretty much all you do. So I had to pretty much fall in love with that, and I feel like that's probably one of the best. That's probably the best part by being able to press. But I mean I also feel comfortable playing off too. So it's really just however I'm feeling that play or whoever I'm going against.
Little easier to press, I would imagine, when you're playing outside, right? When you get the side. Oh, so you'll play that leverage a little bit better.
100%. It's way easier to press outside than it is inside.
Well, let's talk about that two-way go then, right? Yeah, that's why it's so challenging to press inside, right? You don't have the silent there. The guys have a two-way go on you. What's the key to you to being a good slot corner when guys have all that space to operate?
I mean, honestly, you just got to trust the defense, like trust your leverage, like when your leverage and then know where your help is. Because, I mean, every defense, you're going to have help somewhere. It's just a matter if you funnel them to your help or not.
Absolutely. Another part of the game I really enjoyed watching, when the ball's in the air, you get your head around, which a lot of guys struggle doing, right? They'll grab, they'll pull, they get called for penalties. You got your head around a lot, and you played the ball. What technique were you taught in terms of getting your head around? What keys do you read the wide receiver to know the ball's in the air, to turn your head and play it?
I mean, it's really, like, I used to play receiver growing up. I didn't play DB till like late in high school. So, I mean, I feel like that translates, being able to just turn around, fall on the ball, because half the time DBs don't actually be beat. They just don't get their head around. And you get your head around, now you're the receiver. So,
Same in phase, right? I mean, and that's what you're taught to do. Like, do you wait for the wide receiver's hands to go up? Do you see like their eyes get real wide when the pass is coming? What do you read from the receiver to know that the ball's in the air coming your way?
yeah, I feel like the eyes will tell you a lot. Like, hands can't really tell you much because receivers are so good nowadays. They just give you lay hands and you really can't do nothing after that. But eyes will tell you a lot.
You're not the tallest, biggest, and longest guy, right? But like I said, you press, you play physical, you're fast.
Yeah.
What is it? How do you leverage your quickness to your advantage, even if you're maybe not the biggest guy?
I mean, yeah, not being the biggest guy, you got to take pride in being quicker than those guys, like knowing your steps and being efficient. So.
And then finally, big goal this week. What do you want to show NFL coaches and scouts when you're on the floor, on the field, doing those all-important one-on-ones against a really good group of wide receivers?
I mean, my size doesn't make a difference. Like, I feel like that's the biggest question for me. And then, hey, whatever you see on film, that's what you're going to see out here.
Chandler, good luck this week, man. It was nice getting to know you. Appreciate the time.
Of course.
Giants Huddle Podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. From game day celebrations to your everyday financial needs, Big Blue fans get the most out of every moment with Citizens. Learn more at citizensbank.com/Giants. We're joined by Kyle Lewis, linebacker from Pitt. What has it been like what has it been like getting coached up by NFL coaches? Are you learning anything new from them that maybe you didn't get coached up in college that you think you can help you down the road?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like just learning all these new vocabulary words that's used in the NFL, that's like universal words in the NFL. I feel like that's helping me major right now. And I ain't really use these type of diction choices in my college room. You know, we use like completely words for everything. Everything was kind of different. So just learning all this new stuff was definitely expanding my game.
What kind of goals did you set out for yourself for this week for on the field that you want to show NFL teams, NFL scouts?
I'm physical against linemen. I got great coverage against skills, and I get turnovers. I get the ball by any means.
Any particular drills, one-on-ones, as a team? What are some of the things that you're most looking forward to doing out there on the field to practice?
One-on-ones.
And what, is pass rush one-on-ones of coverage, what?
Passing, coverage one-on-ones, and then pass rush one-on-ones too.
What is it about your game that I think gives you an edge trying to cover either athletic tight ends or running backs coming out of the backfield?
My technique. I don't panic. I feel like I got great footwork, and I rely on that.
In college, were you asked to play a lot of man in the situations or mostly zone?
It was really just match. Yeah.
Who were some of the toughest matchups that you would go up against in those situations during the season this year?
Malachi Tony.
He's an athletic kid, huh?
He is smart. He is a smart kid. He know how to use his space.
How can you tell when an opponent you're going up is smart? What are the telltales on the field when you're like, all right, that guy's got it up here, not just physically?
Just really how you use your space and how you just play the game, you know, we know the weaknesses of our defense.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna see if y'all know the weaknesses of our defense and how y'all use it.
When you get in meetings, you know, in the next few hours, I'm sure you're going to meet with some NFL teams over there at the hotel, right? You know, scouts going to ask you questions, assistant coaches, things like that. What are some of the things that you want to get across to them about you as a person, you as a guy, that maybe they might not know?
I'm all for the culture. I'm loud, energetic. I ain't no passive, just laid back. Like, I'm head first when it comes to culture, and I like just to laugh and have fun.
Obviously, playing linebacker, you got to stop the run, right? What are some of the things from a technique perspective that you have to be good at to be a good run-stopping linebacker?
You got to be physical, and you got to cause havoc. That's the most important thing. As long as you cause havoc, you disrupt the flow, go against the grain, then that's a good linebacker to me.
In order to create havoc, right, you also have to be able to anticipate, right? You got to be able to read your keys. So what did you learn over the course of your career in college where you got better at reading your keys, and how did that part of your game improve over your time?
Yeah, I got better reading I was taught to read the stripe of the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just reading that precise of a key helped me in terms of the lineman pad level. If it's actually a run game or is it a boot? And just over time, just learning how to prepare for linemen as well. I can key a tackle, but I can still prepare for the guard is going to pull away from me or towards me, and how do I flow towards that?
And then finally, as you kind of now prepare for your per day, combine, things like that, what are the things that you're still trying to fine-tune about your game and improve as you get closer to becoming a pro?
No, I'm always just trying to perfect my footwork even more, always get better feet and better striking, always just trying to perfect my striking, always make my striking more physical.
And then finally, conversely, what do you think the strongest part of your game is right now? What are you best at?
I'm best at my pass coverage as of right now.
Good luck this week, man. I appreciate getting to know you. And good luck. And now we welcome in defensive tackle from the University of Arkansas, Cameron Ball. Cameron, what's going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm good, blessed, happy to be here.
How was the week going so far for you?
So far, man, it's been really eventful. A lot of meetings, a lot of getting to know new defenses and people, but overall, it's been great, man. It's a dream come true.
So how has it been trying to learn an NFL defense in the span of like 48 hours?
Man, this has been crazy, the first couple of times, but the more you see it, the more you get familiar with it, and, you just got to put time in on your own. So, like, before you go to bed, when you wake up, just study your playbook. So that's mainly what I've been doing.
Let's talk about your game a little bit. Big guy, what's your playing weight? Let me ask you that first.
Playing weight, man, I've played my whole career around like 320, but I'm the lightest I've ever been. So right now I'm 313.
What do you want to play at?
I want to play 315, 320, but we're going to see how this weight gets around. And if I can move and be a little more aggressive and a little more physical, then I'll play at this.
Do you think being a little bit lighter could help your quickness to maybe get a field and maybe improve the pass rush a little bit?
I think it can. Just playing in the SEC for so long, I had to have, heavy weight on to be able to deal with those big guys and in the SEC. But, this is going to be an experience, and I feel like it's going to be a great experience with my body weight.
Yeah, no question about it. So let me talk about that. As you played a lot of defensive tackle, played some nose.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, where do you think that you play your best football?
I think I play my best football at nose.
Okay.
Just because even though at 320, my playing weight, I don't move like your average defensive tackle to be 320. You know, I come off the ball with all aggression, all hell. But I feel like, you know, just with the center being down one hand and my quickness and my physicality and the way I play with my hands, I feel like, man, that was my best position. But, you know, this season, unfortunately, it didn't go how we wanted it to be. And I had to play more than usual, and I had to play all over across the line. So I got the experience of playing different positions, and I feel like, you know, I'm comfortable playing all of them.
Nose tackle is an unforgiving position. A lot of times you got four hands on you. It's very easy to get double teamed in nose tackle. So what do you think is the most important traits or things a defensive tackle has to be good at in order to be an effective nose tackle?
You got to have IQ, you know, because you don't know. First of all, the offense they're trying to scheme against us. We're trying to stop them. So you got to have IQ. You got to be physical. You got to have to play with your hands. You got to have good pad level. But I would say out of all those things, the most important thing, you got to be physical. You got to create knockback. You got to reset the line of scrimmage. And, you know, that's something I value my game after is, you know, knockback, getting off the ball, getting into the chest of a offensive lineman, and just, you know, overall just having my way.
And I think people underestimate some of the little things you have to be good at to do that, right? Like getting underneath their pads, leverage, right? Getting hand placement the right way. What are some of the techniques that you think are absolutely vital to do the type of things you're talking?
Man, you got to play with your hands. If you don't play with your hands, then that's like going into a fight with straight elbows, man. You know, you're not going to be very successful in that fight. But you got to play with your hands, man. You got to have leverage, because if you're high, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get knocked down like a tree. So you got to be low, especially with some of these bigger offensive linemen. And, you know, I'm big, but I'm not the biggest defensive tackle, so I have to play with leverage. And that's where all your power comes from, is from your legs, you know. So got to have leverage, got to play with your hands, got to be physical, man.
So I get the sense, just hearing talking about your weight and how you play, are one of the things you really want to try to show the coaches and scouts here when you get into those one-on-ones, that you have that, like, legit pass rush ability to get upfield?
Yeah, man. So I can't say, you know, this past year I did showcase my ability to rush the passer a little more. I didn't really have the stats, you know, with the sacks and stuff, but I had a whole bunch of quarterback pressures, you know. I resetted the quarterback pocket and, you know, made him move around a bunch. So just the opportunity right now, I don't have to worry about double teams, and it's mano y mano, man. And, you know, I get the opportunity to showcase my pass rushing abilities in front of everybody.
I don't want you to give away too many secrets, but like, what's your go-to pass rush move that you think is your best move that then you start developing your counters off of?
So I mainly, because I'm a physical guy, so I mainly base all my moves off power. So that's my number one thing is power. Because then once I keep pounding you with power, you're going to be like, oh, he's going to hit me with a power again, and boom, I go inside. You know, then I can show off and showcase my quickness and my lateral quickness and stuff like that. Yeah, but I base everything off power. So I got to feel you out, see how you can handle the power of the bull, and then, you know, after that, and then we can get in the bag a little bit.
How much have you looked at some of the offensive linemen you're going to face in practice to, like, get a feel for how they play so you can maybe use some of their weaknesses against?
So I can say, you know, I have been watching film on everybody that I've seen get selected since like they first start. Since I kind of got announced that I was coming here, and then I started jotting down in my notes, you know, the offensive lineman that was going to be here. It was kind of a little difficult because, you know, you got some guys that have been playing tackle their whole career, and, you know, they're on the smaller side, and now they have to come in here and play guard and center. So I kind of took a glance at them, but like the for sure centers and guards, I've been watching them. But then at the same time, I don't want to over prepare. I don't want to overwatch and then get to overthinking.
Start thinking right ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's just football. That's what the scouts and the coaches have been telling us. So just going out there today, man, you know, setting the tone and having fun, most definitely. I love to have fun. So I'll be okay.
Anything you've already picked up being with NFL coaches so far this week that maybe you weren't coached up in college as much?
Man, I'll say kind of like, you know, football is all the same. Just the terminology, the way we communicate things differently in college than they do in the big leagues. I can tell there's a lot more intense, man, by just how all the coaches and stuff are, you know, describing things and the urgency. That's what I can say, like urgency. And I can say too, you know, in college, you're so used to tempo teams and getting down and hurry up and getting set. You know, our coaches have been iterating here to make sure that you scan the whole offense before you put your hand down. Because in the NFL, it's a slower paced game. Not really, but in between, before the pre-snap, it's a little bit slower. You know, so you have the opportunity to evaluate the offense, the alignments, the tight ends before you put your hand in the dirt versus college, you playing those tempo teams and this boom, 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 boom. You got to hurry up and get set.
That makes sense. What are some of the common questions that you've been getting from NFL teams when you go through the interview gauntlet? You go table to table to table. What are some of the things that you feel like teams are trying to get to know about you, the player and the guy?
Well, so the defense, we have our interviews are starting tomorrow. But I feel like something they'll ask me is, first off, they'll probably ask me like how do I deal with the I had a rough year last year, man, with the loss of my father.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Man, yeah, and then just I wouldn't say it was necessarily a down year for me, but stat wise, it wasn't normally what I put on paper. But I had to overcome a lot of things when it came to my father and my team going 2-10, and I had to play more snaps than usual. I was playing like 60 snaps a game, man, and
That's a lot
for a defensive tackle, man, but my team needed me. I was elected captain, so I couldn't complain about it. I just had to go out there, give it my all. And then, my coaching staff got fired halfway through the season. So 2025 was a rough year, man. But, God doesn't make mistakes. And, I'm still blessed to this day. And I just know that 2026 will be a great year for me.
What are you trying to get across though about you as a guy, how you dealt with some of that adversity, but still continue to try to focus on the game?
Man, I persevere, I was taught perseverance, mainly with my fraternity and just growing up as well. That, everything, every day is not going to be ice cream and berries and, sweets and candy and stuff. You just gotta, life hits you. And, I had a lot of troubles in 2025, and that's not going to be the last year of my life that I have it. But I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're always going to make it out of a situation that you probably think you won't. And, I believe in Jesus Christ, man. So I know that, being a Christ follower is one of the hardest things, to think that he will put you through something like that and he still loves you and that there's still a God. And that's something I truly believe. So I know that the storm won't last forever and I'll make it out eventually.
As painful as it was, and I'm sure you're still dealing with all of that, did it make you a stronger person, do you think?
It did, man. Knowing that, especially because I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. My father, he had got sick. I was 10 hours away from home. And he used to send me videos, all the time of him giving me motivational speeches and mainly him trying to stay alive to see me, grow and see me play in the NFL and relive the dreams that me and him dreamed about since I was a kid. So, it kind of made me strong because I have to be the backbone for my family now and to forever carry on his legacy.
Cameron, good luck this week. I'll be rooting for you, man. Thanks.
I appreciate you.
Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Meet you.
Thank you.
All right, and now we're joined by TJ Parker from the University of Clemson. TJ, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, so obviously for Clemson this year, I'm sure you guys would have liked to have a better year, right? I talked to your teammate, DeMonte Capehart, at the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah.
And, how did you guys kind of hang together, even though maybe the early season results weren't what you guys were looking for?
Starting off season, just building that bond every day, working out, spending life together outside the facility, that kind of grew us closer. And then just falling into camp and just going through adversity together kind of kept us together regardless of the, the outcome of the game. I always knew the guy next to me had my back. And I can count on him regardless, and that connection alone and then the trust we have in our coaches and Coach Sweeney, it gave us something to fight for, you know what I'm saying? And obviously we didn't have the season we wanted. And I mean, that's okay as long as we still played hard and try to put it on tape. So that just really kept us strong, just our bond.
Well, I watched it before the year, then I watched your tape after the year. And then my first two notes, power, length, size. Is that where it starts for you as an edge rusher? Then you work off of that, or do you view your kind of skill set a little bit differently?
Oh, no, that's exactly how I see it. Obviously, I know I have great power within my game, and I can work a lot of things off of that, a lot to set up guys in different ways, depending on who it is and who are playing that week. I just try to stay true to my game and, work off of it, so.
How do you use your length? I see you like to bull rush with that long arm sometimes. How do you utilize your length when you rush the passer?
It all depends on, what type of set the offensive line gives me. I'll always try to set up most of my moves with power. You start off with power, you can work off speed and your counter moves off that. So just try to get a feel for the tackle early on in the game. And then from there, it's just a mind thing, see what they give me.
What would you consider your best counter off of your power that you like to go to the most?
I like the forklift.
Okay, nice.
Once I get control of the guy, just be able to control his outside arm. I'll be able to do whatever with it. I can pull it through, push it over, or, I can club back inside. So
what are some of the things that you have on your list when you got together with your agent and your team heading into a game like this that you wanted to accomplish this week and make sure you showed NFL scouts and coaches once you get on the field?
Just that I can be consistent. I can still work my moves. I look fluent. Just be able to move around and just fly around and have fun. So
Just ready to showcase my talent.
You're pumped up to do those one-on-one drills?
Absolutely. I'm pumped to do everything, you know what I'm saying? Special teams, good on good, everything. So I'm just ready to go.
What do you want to show in specials?
I haven't really played special teams in college, so it'll be my first time kind of getting after it. So I'm excited to try something new. So
Is that something that you think NFL teams are going to want to see from you?
absolutely.
Yeah, I think you're right. When you get in those one-on-one pass rush situations and those one-on-ones, have you looked at some of the offensive tackles you're going to go against to do a little scout on them, or are you just going to do your thing and see how it goes?
You kind of look at who you're going against, but at the end of the day, you got to go play your game. So
How about stopping the run? What do you think the most important things are for an edge player to be good at stopping the run?
well, first of all, you go edge of the defense, you know what I'm saying? Nothing can get outside you.
You'll be a force
You
player, right?
got to play with your length, violent hands, and escape blocks quickly. You know what I'm saying? You don't want an offensive lineman to hold on to you, because then that's how you get reached and all type of things. You don't want none of that. So you want to play with length and play violent.
Do you enjoy stopping the run?
I do. You got to earn the right to rush the passer. So it starts with stopping the run. So
I imagine, that lends into your size, right? You look at a lot of the guys coming out of school now, they're these 6'2", 240-pound, smaller, quick, fast guys. You played what, 265 this year?
yes, sir.
Big?
Yes, sir.
How does that help you become a better guy stopping the run?
It just, it balances out my game. I don't want to be one-dimensional guy. I want to be a guy who could play all 3 downs, all 4 downs if possible. You know what I'm saying? And playing the run is a big thing, because if a team can run the ball on you, then you'll never rush the passer. So you got to get there first. So stopping the run is essential.
Have you had meetings with NFL teams yet?
No, not yet.
What do you want to try to get across to them about you as a guy? What do you bring to a locker room, and just what kind of character and culture that you would bring wherever you end up or wind up at the NFL?
You got a guy who's coming in who's going to be a great locker room guy, somebody who's willing to always learn and soak up information from the vets, and somebody who's going to improve the room, whether that's on the field or off the field, spiritually or mentality-wise, somebody who's just coming in ready to work, boots in the ground, ready to go.
How about, what do you want to know about you as a player?
Man, I'm going to be relentless regardless of what I do. I'm going to give it my full all, and I'm going to max out every day, empty the clip. So.
All right, so now when you leave here, the draft process continues, right? You got to get ready for the combine. You got to get ready for your pro day, all that stuff. What are some of the things that you're going to be locked in on, focusing on to get ready for those things so you can get drafted as high as possible? Yeah.
Everything matters. You know what I'm saying? This whole process is detail oriented, and I'm all about the small details. So whether that's meetings, my nutrition, the way I stretch, the way I wake up, sleep, recover, everything matters. So as long as I'm keyed in and I'm doing everything that is going to count and help me, I'm going to do it. So
anything specific combine-wise that you're really locking it on, trying to focus on to make sure you get some either jumps times, running, whatever it might be?
Just everything. It's honestly everything, because I want to be the best at everything I can. So,
dude, that's awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
It was good. Nice getting to know you.
Nice to
Good
meet
luck.
you as well.
We were for you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And now we're joined by Stanford cornerback Collin Wright. Collin, how's it going, man? How are you?
Doing good. Super excited to be here. Super excited to have this opportunity, and it's been a fun week so far. I can't wait to go out there and compete today.
Now, you're Stanford, so I know you're a smart guy. Has it been really easy and trying to pick up the playbook in 44 hours? I'm Stanford guy. This is nothing.
Of course. I've been blessed to be exposed with a lot, so it's just football. At the end of the day, I've seen a lot. I had a lot of great coaches that have always prepared me, so it's not too hard for me.
How much different was what they're trying to get you to do here compared to what you were doing at Stanford?
Not a lot at all. A lot is just different terminology, just a different way of coaching, the different signals, small stuff like that. But I would say the game is the game. It's not much different.
So, talking about your game, you played more slot in 2024, and then in 2025, you're more outside, right? If an NFL team would ask you, what position would you prefer to play, what would you tell her?
I would tell them corner. I love playing corner, but I love playing inside too. I would say I'm very versatile and well-rounded, and wherever a team needs me, that's where I'm gonna play. And it's funny. It's like 2 different games, right? You play inside, you get to tackle more. I love to tackle. So I love to cover. Obviously, especially in college, a lot of the great receivers are in the slot. So I've always had to be able to do that. So honestly, wherever a team puts me, I wouldn't mind.
NFL too.
100%.
They love sliding those top receivers into the slot so they get that two-way go, right?
Yes, sir.
You talk about stopping the run. How about the two-way go aspect of playing the slot? What type of extra challenge does that give a corner? What do you have to be good at when that receiver has all that extra space playing inside?
Got to be patient. Patience is a virtue, and I think it's always about trusting your leverage and knowing where your help is. And I think a lot of that for me came with knowing my defense and knowing what my help is. So that's what it comes down to, and it comes down to winning, obviously. So win it, be patient.
One of my notes here is smart player understands coverage responsibilities, and you kind of just talked about it, that understanding where your help is, where you have to be, understanding based on formation what the offense is trying to do, right?
Exactly.
Where the guys are going. Talk about how you develop that skill to complement your physical abilities over the course of your time in staff.
Man, I think I've just had a lot of great teachers, a lot of great mentors, a lot of great older teammates. When I was a freshman, I redshirted, and I had some pro guys in front of me, and just picking their brains, learning how they watch film. Certain tendencies teams show, is a receiver cut? Is he super wide? Okay, it's only so many concepts you can get. Okay, is it a motion? What does a team like when they motion? I think just picking up on all the small details and a lot of film study that kind of went into my mind and that I've developed over the years. So I think that's the biggest part. A lot of film and a lot of being out there and working on my technique too.
What are the type of things you want to show NFL decision makers, scouts, coaches, all those guys that are watching you on the field today when you start doing some of those wide receiver, DB one-on-ones?
I want to make plays on the ball. Obviously, that's what it's about. It's about getting picks, about getting PBUs. Production is key. So definitely want to show that I'm quick, that I can run, and that I can always make a play on the ball.
And a lot of those situations, you're going to be playing outside. You're going to have the sideline as your friend there. So, and you talk about how you think outside corner is what you're best at. What do you think you do well at outside corner, and the most important aspects of your game that have allowed you to excel at that spot?
I think I'm very physical. I think
you are too.
A lot of receivers struggle with physicality, and if you watch my game, you'll see a lot of receivers struggle playing against me because I'm physical and I use my hands. So I think that's my biggest attribute, which obviously helped me a lot in the slot, and it's almost the only way you can have success in the slot is if you're physical. So I think that's the most important part.
Right there, yeah, can be physical line of scrimmage, absolutely. So, who are some of the toughest wide receivers you went against in the ACC? I know Stanford ACC. I still have to make sure I say it right. It just seems weird, but who are some of the best wide receivers you played either this year or the year before that kind of gave you the most challenges?
I would say Antonio Williams from Clemson.
Surprising.
He was a good receiver, very good, quick, fast, everything. I would say last year we played TCU. So we played Jack Betch and Savion Williams. Those are two tough.
It's the biggest boy, Savion Williams.
Yeah. It's funny. People don't ask me about it or talk to me about it, but my sophomore year was the hardest year I had guarding receivers.
What do you have?
That last year in the Pac-12, we had Troy Franklin, Romo Dunze, all those guys, the guys from USC, Brendan Rice, and Deuce Robinson. I played him as a freshman and played him this past year. So it's like so many great guys I played that it's ridiculous. So I have a lot of experience. Obviously, I'm a little older. I'm a little older, as people would call me at school. But I've seen a lot of guys, and I still had a lot of success. So it's a big part of it.
Does that annoy you? Where you're like the older prospect that's like, oh man, he's like, what are you, 23, 24?
I'm 22 now.
That's what I'm saying. Like you hear that and you're like, guys, I'm 22. Like, what
People always
are we talking about?
people always think I'm older for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm not even that old.
Awesome, dude. Hey, best luck this week, dude. It's a pleasure getting to meet you. Hey, good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it
Very much. Those are our interviews right here on the Giants Huddle podcast from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. I am John Schmeelk. Thanks so much for being with us, everybody. We'll see you for another day of continuing coverage of the All-Star Game as we get ready for the draft down in Mobile, Alabama. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.